Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jessica Ward King, the Stigma Crusher here. This week on October 10th, we celebrate World Mental Health Day. And last week here in Canada, we celebrated Mental Illness Awareness Week. And at this time of year, with all of these mental health and mental illness awareness campaigns happening, I often get the question, is all of this awareness really worthwhile? Isn't it time we stopped talking about the problem and started doing something about it? And I'm here to say that no, I think that talking about the problem is still appropriate action to take. And I'm going to tell you why. So, talking about the problem is the first step in stigma reduction. If we can't talk about the problem, if we can't identify when mental illness is happening in ourselves or in our loved ones, first, if we don't have awareness about what mental health and mental illness looks like in ourselves and in others, and if we can't then talk about that mental illness that as it's developing in ourselves or in others, and if we can't then have the awareness of what mental health supports are available for ourselves or others in the community, and then have the awareness and the ability to go and seek those mental health supports, then we can't ever get anywhere. And right now, I'm still not seeing that awareness alive and well in the community. Sure, it's gotten better. It's gotten a lot better in the decades that we've been doing these awareness campaigns and talking about the problem. It's gotten a lot better. Stigma has improved in the last few decades that we've been talking about mental illness and mental health. But it's still not where it needs to be. We still need to be crushing stigma. And I see this all the time when I do my stigma crushing talks at businesses and schools and other locations. I still hear people say, wow, this is the first time I've heard it talked about like this openly. This is the first time I've heard it talked about like this in my place of business. This is the first time I've heard this kind of message talked about at all. This is the first time I've heard anyone connect with me on this level before. I hear a lot of people talk about this being the first time they've heard anyone talk about their issue, this issue, in such an open and honest way. And the fact that people are hearing this for the first time when I speak to them is really concerning to me. That tells me that we still don't have enough awareness. We still don't have enough people talking openly and honestly in our communities about mental health and mental illness. And that tells me that we still need to have these awareness days. And what do awareness days accomplish? Well, they give us this focus. What do I mean by that? We can't have everybody in the community constantly focusing on all of the issues all of the time. We all have really complex identities. Myself as a lesbian woman, I want to sometimes be able to focus on LGBTQ2IA identities and issues. I want to be able to focus on those complex issues and put my money and my mouth towards those issues and concentrate on them. And I can't be doing that all of the time. I have other things I want to concentrate on. I want to concentrate on mental health, for example. I do that a lot. So, I mean, for me, it's second nature, but for a lot of people, it's not. I want to concentrate on my child's issues and on childhood diseases and on childhood growth. I want to concentrate on the issues of being a woman, on the issues of being of my family who's Black, identify as Black. I want to concentrate on a lot of different issues. I have a lot of different intersecting identities, and I can't concentrate on all of these issues all of the time. And so when we have these awareness campaigns and these awareness days and weeks, we give people that opportunity to focus on an issue and to really put their concentration on talking about that issue for that specified period of time, maybe opening their minds, their hearts, possibly their wallets, whatever's appropriate for them at their stage and in their particular point in life to that issue, and then being able to move on to another issue. Because we can't always be focusing on all of the issues all of the time. We have to give people time to focus on one issue at a time and then be able to move on. And so having these awareness days and awareness weeks is really important, in my opinion. Now, does that mean that I think that we shouldn't move on to action? Of course not. We need to be moving on to action, but we are. There's more action in the space of mental health these days than there ever has been. There's more research being done in mental health and mental illness now than there ever has been before. There are more community groups that are being mobilized to do walks and to do community action and to do community-oriented work than there ever has been before. There are more people that are orienting themselves towards community action as well than there ever have been before. More individuals who are doing, let's say, GoFundMe pages, or who are walking for the issues, or doing other individualized but also community-based projects for the issue of mental health and mental illness. There are schools, there are young people that are mobilizing for the issues of mental health and mental illness more now than there ever have been. And that's, I think, because of the awareness that all of these awareness days and weeks have brought to the issue. We have people more now than ever before that are talking about mental health and mental illness. And I think that's because of the awareness that these days and weeks have brought to the issue and continue to bring to the issue. And as I say, we can't be talking about mental health and mental illness all the time. Well, maybe I can. I mean, I spend every week, I put out content on this issue, and that means that I think about it every week. I think about an issue to talk about. I prepare that issue. I prepare the storyboard and create the content, and then actually edit the content and put out the content. And so I am thinking about mental health all the time. But most people can't be thinking about it all the time. And so we need to give them these foci so that they don't get sick and tired of hearing about the issue of mental health all the time, so that they can focus on it for discrete periods and then move their ideas elsewhere. And so that's why I think that these awareness days, these awareness campaigns, these awareness weeks are really important. I think it gives people the opportunity to focus. I think it gives organizations and foundations who are raising money, who are trying to raise awareness, who are trying to end stigma, the opportunity to focus their own campaigns, to focus their own learning events, their own stigma reduction efforts at particular times when people are more likely to tune in and listen, because there's kind of more buzz in the atmosphere about mental health and mental illness at these particular times. And so people are more likely to focus on those efforts at those times. And so I think that they're really important efforts that we have. And until we have an issue and society where it's not front page news whenever a celebrity or a sports figure comes out with their story of mental illness, until we have a society where it's not a horrible secret that someone has, that they have mental illness, until we don't have a society where there's religious persecution on the basis of having mental illness, until we have a society where we have people talking about their mental health and mental illness regularly, without provocation, without a day or a special reason to talk about it, when we just have people talking about their mental health as though it's second nature, until we have everyone on board with that message, we are going to need these special days, these particular awareness raising campaigns to try to end the stigma. I continue to crush stigma because there is a stigma to crush. It is still very dangerous for a lot of people, very daunting for a lot of people, very stigma filled for a lot of people to come out with their stories of mental health and mental illness in this world. And I still get a lot of people telling me on the hush hush that they understand my story and they really identify with it, but they could never say so out loud. And I identify with their stories because I was there once. But until they don't have to tell me in hushed whispers, I will continue to crush stigma. I will do it every day of the year, every year of my life. But we can't all be doing that, because we do have those intersecting identities and we need to be able to focus elsewhere. And so until we have a society where that stigma is completely crushed, we are going to need these special days and special weeks in order to focus. And that's why I'll continue to totally support Mental Illness Awareness Week, World Mental Health Day, Mental Health Awareness Week in May, and all of the other special days and special weeks that we have come up during the year to support and to crush the stigma of mental health and mental illness. So that's what I wanted to reflect on this week. I hope you have a great World Mental Health Day on October 10th, and I will see you in my next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.
Stigma Crusher.